So now we're going to do the pre-flight procedure. So light test, we're gonna check it. We're gonna put it on test. And of course we check the whole flight deck, that all the lights works. The sun visor that is stowed. Then we check the oxygen. So we have to put test reset, push and hold. Then we rotate it to emergency. So basically we push test reset, then we rotate to emergency. We have to verify that the oxygen crew does not decrease more than 100 psig. And then we put it back to 100%. If it's control panel set, basically we're gonna put airport and terrain on both sides, on the IFIS control panel. And we can of course also put the MFRE flight path vector as desired. I usually put it on, meters as well. Clock, we check there is in UTC time. Nose wheel steering switch to normal. Takeoff config light, we have to verify that is extinguished. Cabin altitude light, verify extinguished. Then we adjust our seat, we adjust our rudder pedal. And then we're gonna put in the FMC our present position. So we go to pause init, we select Lima India Romeo Foxtrot, then we go to next page, GPS left, we copy it and put it into the IRS position. It takes around 7 minutes. Then we go to the ident page, and we have to check that the database is active. Perfect. Then route page, we select route 1, and we enter departure and destination. So Lima India Romeo Fox, Lima India Romeo November. Then we put the flight number. In this case, we are the India November Victor 737. The runway that we expect. And then we're going to put the SID and the routing. So today we expect the Sosan 5 Alpha, followed by the Riff in an hotel. Then we're going to put the route. Excellent. Now we go to next page and we check that we have 220 knots for the first turn, which we do in this case. The SID will cover us for that. After that we finish setting up the FMC, we're going to go back up. And we're going to do our flow. So we're going to check that the flight controls and the spoiler are all in the normal position. Yaw damper switch on. Verify that the yaw damper light is extinguished, and we verify that the standby hydraulic low quantity light is extinguished as well as the low pressure. Verify that the standby rudder on light is extinguished and the alternate flaps master switch guard is closed. Alternate flap position has to be to off. Verify that the field differential pressure light is extinguished, speed trim fail, Mach trim fail, and auto slap fail all extinguished. Navigation panel has to be set, VHF nav transfer switch to normal, and also the display panel auto and normal. The fuel system, we want to put 4 pumps on because we don't have fuel in the center tanks. And we check the fuel quantity as well in the fuel quantity indicator. Excellent. So if the fuel quantity in the center tank is more than 453 kilos, we're going to put 6 pumps on. Then we're going to put the cabin utility galley power on. And then we check on the electrical system, the standby power switch is on auto. The generator drive disconnect switch is guard down, and the bus transfer switch on auto. Equipment cooling switch is to normal. And the lights extinguish. Fasten belt on. The windshield wiper selector to park. The window heat switch is to on. We have to verify that the overheat light extinguish and the on light they're illuminated. Probe heat switches, in this case we're going to leave them to off. The wing and engine anti-ice switch is to off, and the valve open light they're extinguished. The hydraulic pump switches to on. Electric low pressure light extinguish. Brake pressure 2800 psi minimum. MFD system push. And we have to check that the system A and B pressure is 2800 psi minimum. We have 3000. So quantity indicator, no RF indication displayed. Hydraulic accumulator pressure indicator is on the green band. Pressurization indicator, we check it. Cabin altitude, field elevation. In the case of Naples, it's 300 feet. Cabin rate of climb is 0. Air conditioning system, we put PAX auto and the blitz on. Air temperature selector as desired. A good starting point is AUT. Then we put the trimmer on. Temperature selector as desired. A ram door full open lights illuminated. And the recirculation fan switches to auto. Air conditioning PAX switches both auto. The isolation valve has to be open. Engine bleeder switch is on. APU switch off in this case because the APU is off. Pressurization system is set now with the cruise altitude and the landing altitude. So the lights here, it's basically if it's night or day, now we can switch off the logo light, leave it steady, anti-collision light is off, wing is off, and wheel well light is off as well. The ignition, we start with the right, because it's the first flight of a day on a manned base, and we put the ignition onto right. That's what it is. Then the courses, we have to set it for the departure. In this case, is an RNAV departure. The flight director switch is on and has to be on the master of the pilot flying. In this case, it's going to be captain. And when you do that, also you go to the transponder and then you put it on 1, which is it is now, both on 1. If there are 4 flies, we put it on 2. If the captain flies, we put it on 1. The auto throttle switch is off. The bank angle is 25. And the altitude, we put the SID clearance altitude. In this case, we haven't received it yet. So we're going to put the expect SID clearance altitude plus 100 feet. Then autopilot is disengaged. So the alignment is now complete. And we have to check that the PFD indicates correctly. The flight mode annunciation is blank now. The FMA is blank. The flight instrument indication are correct. The no V-speed flag is displayed until the V-speeds are selected, basically. So don't worry if now you have a no V-speed on the left-hand side of the PFD here. Altimeter, we set it to the correct ConH. At the end, is indicating correctly with no flags, and the route is displayed correctly. The standby instrument, we have to check them. So the integrated standby flight display, we check it. The approach mode display is blank. The local altimeter setting is there. And verify flight instrument indication are correct and no flags. The engine display control panel set, so we have to check that is on auto. Fuel flow switch rate, we move it to reset the fuel flow. And the speed reference as well is on auto. Then we put the auto brake to RTO. And the auto brake disarm light is extinguished. Anti-skidding up light is extinguished. MFD system switch we push. And we basically check the EGT fuel flow pressure and temperature pointers and digital readouts are not displayed. Basically, they won't be until the engine start switch is moved to ground. So the primary and secondary engine indication has to be normal. So we check the speed brake is down detent. And we advance the thrust lever to forward stop. Basically to the forward stop, guys. To ensure that it's free of movement and that the configuration warning horn sound. The reverse thrust lever is down and the forward thrust lever is closed. So start levers to cut off. The parking brake is set. And the parking brake light illuminated. The stabilizer trinket switches to normal. Radio tuning panel, we set it. And then the VHF navigation radius for departure, we have to set it. We check the float and panel light controls, like this is perfect. The weather radar for now is off. The transponder is 2000 and standby. Then we check the aileron trim and the rudder trim for free movements.